Welcome to Seat Time, everybody, the off-road show that brings you all the results, news, and online shenanigans that make being online a good time. We'd like to say thank you to Fly Racing for their support of Seat Time. Please go check them out at flyracing.com. Welcome to Seat Time, everybody. As usual, Tuesday night here in Texas. It is 8 p.m. It's actually 8:01, and I have to say, within the past 4 minutes, we've probably had enough technical difficulties to make most people very afraid of the internet and what could possibly go on. But we have luckily figured it out, and we had about a minute to spare. And boom, here we are, live, 1 minute late. I think that, considering how some things have gone, or how some episodes have gone in the past, we have done quite the awesome job. So I appreciate Steven and all of his hard work. Obviously, Steven is our producer and aficionado motion graphics person, so he does a great job getting all the shenanigans together. And as I like to say, corralling the crazy. I think it's a good time. So Steven, I really appreciate your efforts. I just wanted to give you a big shout out. So Seat Time. For those of you guys who have absolutely no idea what you're watching, this is Seat Time. We're just a bench racing, beer drinking, good old time on the internet talking about off-road racing and all the results that go on. I've got a couple riders always on the show that we're going to talk to tonight specifically, Ryan Ballou, and we're going to have Tucker LaRue. I really don't think that their last names, they're definitely not spelled anywhere near the same. I doubt they're pronounced the same, so I'm probably going to get corrected by that. And then as well, we're going to talk to the organizers from the Big Sky Cross Country Off-Road National Championships that are going to be coming up. So lots of fun stuff. So where can you find Seat Time? If you're like, oh my God, these guys are halfway decent and funny, I want to know more about it. Seattime.co is the website. Everything's archived there. You go to YouTube, search for Seat Time. And of course, Stitcher and iTunes, you can as well search for Seat Time, and you will be able to find the show and subscribe and listen in. So first off, Mr. Ryan Ballou, 1, how bad did I butcher your last name? And 2, what are you doing tonight, kind sir?
Well, first off, you pronounced it right.
Nice.
Not many people do that, so congratulations.
I have done something right in my life, and it feels good, I have to say.
Well, question number 2, just kind of hanging out. Really not a whole lot going on tonight, so just kind of relaxing a little bit.
That's all right. You're on Seat Time. Now, there's a ton of stuff going on.
Oh, yeah. It makes it kind of exciting.
I know. The thing is honestly, nobody ever should know what to expect on this show. And I think that's kind of half the fun of it. You never know what's going to come up, what we're going to talk about. Pictures we might try to Google in the middle of all this and, come up with some crazy good times. So you said you're just hanging out tonight. It's a Tuesday night, and you're probably still on the East Coast somewhere, so it's 9-ish over there. So where are you at? Are you in South Carolina?
Yes, I'm still in South Carolina. You contacted me earlier in the week, and of course I kind of procrastinated on getting everything together. And last minute I found out my wireless router went out, so I had to come over to my cousin's house and steal his internet.
Nice. Well, I can tell you this right now, you're definitely not the first guest to procrastinate for about 10 minutes before the show to try to see if their Skype app still works on whatever device they're trying to use it on. And 2, do not even feel remotely bad about stealing your cousin's internet, because recently we've had a slew of folks going to Starbucks to steal Wi-Fi. So I think that you went to a family relative. That's stepping it up a notch over Starbucks.
Yeah, and there for a little bit we had problems getting his working, so I was just about to go over to McDonald's and steal theirs.
I love it. McDonald's would have been a totally new one. I think that would have been I'm just saying, in the future, I'm okay with that. You're not going to... I think it'll be fun.
Eat a cheeseburger, drink a sweet tea, and chat on wine.
I love it. So I have to comment right off the bat, Mr. Ballou, that your accent is absolutely awesome. And I want to know right now, the most, I don't know if uncomfortable is the right way to put it, but just awkward situation because of your accent. Has there ever been one, or is there one that you can think of right off the top of your head?
Well, probably in 7th grade in my Spanish class, I was trying to speak Spanish. Ended up not doing too good because my Spanish teacher said I couldn't pronunciate everything correctly. So that's just one thing off the top of my head, but there's been I promise you're not the first one to say something about it.
Well, I will never. I got quite. I grew up in Louisiana, in southern Louisiana. For whatever reason, I didn't. I grew up in New Orleans, so I don't know if because of the fact that I was in New Orleans proper, that I didn't actually pick up a southern accent, but I didn't. That's probably a good thing to a degree. Being in Texas now, though, I kind of wish I did because I could throw a cowboy hat on and put some cowboy boots on, but you can't really fake being a Texan, and unfortunately, that's kind of what I do now. So, do you have a bunch of people that like fake being South Carolinians?
I guess. And speaking of the Texan, you even got the mustache to pull it off.
You like that? You like that?
If I could throw one, I'd have one.
Well, don't feel bad. How old are you in your early 20s? How old are you, Ryan?
You're freezing up on me, buddy.
Oh no! Can you hear me now? Nothing? That's okay. As he tries to figure it out. I think, so one of the things we're going to talk to Ryan about tonight is the fact that he is going to be going...
Froze up on me.
He's going to be going to Big Sky, and we're going to be doing some racing, and it's going to be awesome. What do you think, Steven? Okay, I'm going to keep talking. So one of the things that we're going to talk to Ryan Ballou about as we get him back on is the fact that he's going to be going to Big Sky. I think that considering the fact that we're about a month out from the event, I really wanted to try to talk to a lot of the racers that are going to be going because I think it's a big deal that we're going to have this kind of national championship and a lot of racers. They're trying to bring in as many racers as they can from around the country to get in there. And they also got riders from around Canada and stuff. So, Ryan, can you hear me a little bit better now?
I can. We're good.
Awesome. Yeah, and as you listened really well. We hung up. Steven called you. Bam. Answered. Dig it. Maybe. I don't know. So you're gonna be going to Big Sky this year?
Yeah. Hopefully we're good now because I'm not the most computer savvy person they are.
That's okay. Are you going to be going to Big Sky?
Yes, I am. I talked to Randy today, and we're trying to get everything worked out. So, I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. So you've been doing a lot of racing on the East Coast. That's where you grew up. It's where you've done the predominant amount of your racing. So give us just a little bit of your backstory, kind of how you got into where you're at now with all the GNCCs, and then how you think that's going to benefit you, going into Big Sky.
Well, basically to start it all off, my grandpa rode and my dad rode. So when I was 6 years old, I got my first motorcycle. And then, things just kind of progressed, and I raced my first race when I was 10 years old. And then in 2002, I started doing the GNCCs. And ever since then, I've been doing them. And then in 2008, I got hooked up. I live 5 minutes away from Randy Hawkins. And so that's always been nice. We've always had a good relationship. And then 2008, I started riding for him. And then, injury after injury, things kind of got discouraging.
Yeah. And
then last year it went decent. It was my first year back really after being off basically for 3 years. And so last year went decent. Thought I was gonna make the whole season without getting hurt. And then I think 2 rounds before the finish, I ended up breaking my heel bone. So that was kind of a bummer. But I stuck with it, and this year it's been going real well. I'm still doing the GNCCs, and Randy kind of talked to me beginning of the year, see if I wanted to do the national enduros. And I've always done enduros, just kind of fun, a couple local ones here and there. But as far as the national enduros, this is my first year doing them. And at first it was a little new, getting used to, I guess you'd say. But as each race is going on, I'm starting to enjoy them more and more.
Yeah. Well, what did you think of? What was so you hadn't really done any of the national enduros before you went and started this year?
No. I might have did 1 or 2 long time ago. And but as far as that, the Little Brown Jug is probably an hour from my house.
Oh, okay.
I've always done it, but as far as enduros, that's about it before this year.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I really enjoy the National Enduro Series. One of the things that I was talking to our other guest Tucker about before we got on the phone with you was that how much I really enjoy the new national format. Have you had any pros, cons, or I guess issues with the way that the enduros are run now? I would imagine that the Little Brown Jug at one point was probably a timekeeper.
Yeah, a long time ago before I got into it.
Okay.
So I've always wanted to learn how to do it, but the way everything is now, I think they got a real good system going.
Yeah, no, I can tell you now, there's absolutely no reason for you to learn how to timekeep in an enduro, and if for some reason you do go to one where it's that way, just put a guy on your row that's like an A or B rider that knows how to do it, and he can timekeep you into sections, and then just wave you past. And that, I promise you, that'll be good enough. Like me, you could fly me in, and I could be your timekeeper.
Yeah, I'll definitely keep that in mind in case one ever comes around.
If nothing else, I'll be fun to have on your row, I promise.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, dig it. So, Big Sky, I want to know how excited you are for, one, this event, and two, the fact that you're getting to go and racing.
Yeah, was last year the first year they had it?
Well, it's been around for a little bit longer than that, but last year was, I think, the first year that like the AmPro team went as a big team, and they kind of started growing and really starting to bring a lot more of a national presence to it. But this is the first year that it will be an official AMA-sanctioned national off-road championship event. So.
Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, last year's the first year I heard about it, and I didn't go, so I really didn't pay that much attention to it. I heard all the stories from Paul and Jordan, all of them, and from what they were saying, it sounded very interesting. It sounded pretty fun, and wasn't too sure how you got into it. I always heard you had to be invited, and so up at Snowshoe, West Virginia, GCC, I was talking to Brian Elliott, and I didn't really know anything about it, and he asked if I was coming. I said, yeah, that'd be cool. How do you get in? Well, he kind of looked at me kind of puzzled and said, you're already in?
Nice.
And so it kind of caught me by a shocker, and when he said that, I was excited about it.
That's awesome. Yeah, this is what I think what they're trying to do this year is give, and not free passes by any means, but they definitely, they want people to go to these qualifiers, and they want people to qualify because eventually it will get to the size that it's so large that it will be, in a sense, like the Loretta Lynn's for off-road. You will have to qualify to make it because of the fact that the rider numbers will just be so high. So, but you're obviously such a talented racer that it'd probably be very easy for you to qualify to get into the event. But you will be in the pro class, so you're going to have a lot of competition. But you're not going to be fighting. You're not going to be riding against Paul Whibley because he had surgery on his groin, right?
Yep. Sure did.
What did he mess up in his junk that made him have to have surgery on his groin?
Well, be honest with you, I don't know a whole lot about it. He kept it pretty quiet from everybody.
Would you keep it quiet, or would you tell everybody that you're getting your junk worked on?
I mean, I really don't know. But I know he had surgery, and I haven't got a chance to see him. Just been pretty busy here lately. But from what everybody's been saying, he's been doing real well. He's been hanging out up at the shop, staying busy, so he must be doing all right.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. One of the things that I noticed when I was Googling your name, trying to find out some dirt on you, is that you have been a CrossFit competitor at the Open this year.
Yeah. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, is that so? Tell us a little bit now. Everybody knows that I'm kind of a big CrossFit fan. When I'm not recovering from some kind of surgery, I really enjoy going to a box and doing the WODs, if you will. But tell us a little bit about your CrossFit experience.
Well, I was up at Jordan Ashburn's house last year, and Rich Froning. Every CrossFitter knows Rich Froning.
You got to meet Rich too?
I did.
What's the deal?
He said, I never really heard about it. And he said, hey, come on, let's go do CrossFit. And I said, well, I've always been into workouts and exercise and stuff. And I said, it can't be too bad. No idea who Rich Froning was or anything. So I get there and I see this big, huge, muscular guy come up. And he said, that's my trainer. I said, who? Well, long story short, I didn't move for a couple days.
It hurt, didn't it?
It did, and then I guess it's like anybody does CrossFit. Once they do it once, they're kind of hooked.
Yeah.
And so I came home, and then just so happened there was one opening up probably 20 minutes from my house, and so I was able to get in, get to know the guys pretty well, and it's just been having a ball with it.
That's awesome, man. So I think it was Brad Bakken we were talking with a couple weeks ago. That was he there as well? Is he? Do you know if he's? I think he's the one that actually had met Rich Froning as well. That was working out with Jordan Ashburn. Does that sound familiar to you, or am I just?
I think so. He might have mentioned something about it, but Brad, he's another fellow CrossFitter.
Nice. Well, then I would imagine that that's probably the way it's gone down. We did talk a little bit, or you did mention when we were kind of talking a little bit about your past, that you've had to go through a lot of injuries, and that obviously can be mentally kind of draining because you don't know when you're going to be able to come back, if you're going to be able to come back. So you had like dislocated patellas and broken AC joints. I mean, you had a lot going on. So tell us just a little bit about kind of some of the injuries you had to go through and how you were able to come back from all that.
Yeah, like you said, I had patella dislocations. Ended up having to have 2 surgeries on it, and then shattered my AC joint. Had surgery on it, and just those surgeries alone wasn't bad, but it was the fact of I had a surgery. I was out for a period of time, and then I got back riding, feeling good, and within a month something else would happen. So it was kind of repetitive and couldn't really catch a break.
Yeah. But now, I mean, so once you kind of got back on the bike, how long did it take you to kind of go, okay, cool, I'm 100%, like I am race ready?
Well, to be honest, last year it was my first year doing a whole season without a major injury, and so last year I felt like I was riding good, but I didn't feel 100%. And this year we had a good off season, and I feel now like I'm back where I was and just having fun at it again.
Good. That's good to hear. Okay, couple more questions before we switch over to one of our other guests. Of course, I wanted to know, it looked like that you were doing college for a little while as a full-time student. Is that still something that you're dipping your toes into?
Yeah, I've been a college student for quite some time.
It's okay. I was on the 5-year plan. Took me a little while. It's all right.
Yeah, but currently I took this year off. I knew doing the enduros and GNCCs it'd be pretty busy, as far as traveling and everything. But I'm going for my personal training degree.
Awesome.
And so it's something I've always enjoyed, and something I like helping people, and I just personally enjoy it. But once things slow down, I'm gonna go back and hopefully finish it up pretty soon.
Yeah, no, it's definitely one of those things that you kind of need to find a way to do it. So I know that it's tough in the situation where you're training every day and racing all the time and stuff. So I know that we'll be able to get you going soon. What do you think, Steven? Man, one day we're going to find a way to send Wi-Fi to people, and it is going to be the most awesome day ever. I do want to take a chance to say thank you very much to Fly Racing. For those of you who don't know, they just put out their 2014 line. They've been debuting it at all the nationals that have been going on, all the motocross nationals. They're going to be putting out their their catalog soon so everybody can see. I do believe it's going to be about August 1st is when everything will be available with the dealers so that you can go ahead and pick up all your new Fly Racing gear. But please go check them out, flyracing.com. I'm excited because I know that a good buddy of ours, Dale Spangler, is going to be coming to Big Sky, which I'm going to be at with him. And that way I'm going to be able to check out some of the new Fly Racing gear that's going to be there, and I'm really looking forward to doing that. So thank you very much, Fly Racing, for all your support of Seat Time. We really appreciate all the awesome that you do, and we hope that everybody can go support them. So please go check them out. flyracing.com is the website. Oh, yeah. So we got you back. All right. Top stuff that has happened this year at the GNCCs, and maybe as well the lowest point, Mr. Ballou.
Well, top is probably still being healthy. And also being healthy, having fun at it. It seems like every race, I just get off the track with a smile on my face. So that's always a plus. And low point, can't think of any right off the top of my head.
I think that in itself is another high point.
Yeah.
That you've had such a good year that there really are no low points, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, just having fun at it.
Dig it. Well, that's awesome, man. So, how are you guys in the team all getting to Big Sky? Are you flying? Or are you driving? Or what's the dealio?
Well, I'm not too sure yet. We're still.
We're figuring it out.
Yeah, but if it comes to it, I'll make the long journey and drive out there.
Yeah, you've probably been in being a professional motorcycle racer. I'm pretty sure that you've made some long drives before to races. So.
Yeah, we did enduro cross there, 2009, 2010. Ended up going to Vegas several times, so that's pretty long drive.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's a long drive. Do you guys drive straight through the night, like swapping off drivers, or do you sleep at all?
It just depends on what kind of trip it is. Sometimes we pull over, but most of the time we just keep on going.
Oh my gosh. Woo! Y'all are crazy. I tried to, when I went to the ISDE qualifier in Idaho last year, and we made that 27-hour drive, and it was horrible. Horrible.
I think I was looking on the internet, and Big Sky's 34 hours from me. And so that would be pretty interesting.
All I can say is good luck, because
I
sounds...
appreciate it.
Yeah, 34 hours sounds way worse than 27 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Well, cool. Well, I'm going to be getting up there on Thursday morning. We're going to be doing a course preview, and then on Friday we're going to be doing interviews, and we're going to go around and kind of take in some of the sites there in Big Sky, really get a chance to see what all Big Sky has to offer, not just for racers and riders, but as well, for families and vacationers and stuff like that. And I think that you guys are going to have some time to do that as well. So if we get a chance to hang out, we're going to have to talk some more, kick it, and I'll try to see if I can replicate your accent.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be kind of interesting.
I think it would definitely be kind of interesting. Well, dude, we really appreciate your time on Seat Time. Where can people go find you and find more information out there about you on the internet?
Probably Facebook.
Okay.
Really not a social media type person, but I do have a Facebook.
Well, spell your last. I'm pretty sure nobody's going to screw up Ryan, but spell your last name for everybody, just because I think it'd be fun if you did it.
It is Belue.
UE. Belue. Belue. Dig it. That is fantastic. You need a cowboy hat. You know that, right? Like,
I got one, but I figured I'd get Brian Elliott's Alliance Off-Road hat.
Yeah, I hear that. That's tonight I put my Jesse Grome shirt on. I just bought it and got it in the mail. Supporting him going to the ISDE on the junior trophy team, and I got his T-shirt that just came in. I got Andrew DeLong's T-shirt on the way. I got the O'Leary brothers; their T-shirts are on the way. Ryan Kudla, his T-shirt will be on the way after my next paycheck, because I just bought all these other T-shirts to support these guys. It's just I know that I'm not going, and I went last year as media, had so much fun. $20 a T-shirt or 25 with shipping. Yes, I want to support these guys as much as possible, and I figure in 5 years I can make a blanket out of all these things or something. I don't know. So
it'd be pretty cool to have a blanket with all T-shirts.
I agree. I think it's so. If anybody wants to know, Seat Time will support people. We just can only do it $25 at a time. That's pretty much that's the only sponsorship we offer. We just want a T-shirt out of the deal. All right, so go to Facebook, check out Ryan Belue. And make sure that you guys go and support all the awesome that he's got going on with the AmPro team, with Randy Hawkins, all that fun stuff. I can't wait to see you guys in Big Sky and have a good time, man.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to it, and it should be fun.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you taking the time to make it to your cousin's house and possibly have to go to McDonald's and find Wi-Fi and come on Seat Time. It's not the worst time. Obviously, sometimes there's technical difficulties, but we work through it. We're just trying to create the best show that we know how with the little bit of means that we can find on the internet. So you have fun out there, and keep posting cool pictures, okay?
Alrighty, and my cousin's standing here, and I'd like to say thank you to Trey Jefferson for letting me use his house.
Oh, there you go. Absolutely. I love it when people get shout-outs like that. It's kind of viral. I don't know, he might be famous after this show. You never know.
He could be. He might be beating me one day.
Awesome, man. Well, you guys have fun out there, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you.
Later. All right, now Steven goes ahead and gets us all set up and gets our next guest, Tucker. I'm going to say Tucker LaRue, and I know that he is going to go ahead and fix that for me, but that's kind of how I want to pronounce his name. He rides a TM. So for those of you who don't know, we've talked with other riders from the European countries, if you will, that have ridden those the TMs before, and they've had issues with them. So we're going to talk with Tucker a little bit about some of the bikes that he's riding, and figure some stuff out. I think it's going to be interesting. So there you are, Tucker. Look how cute you are, 15 years old. Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, dude. So as we were saying, I pronounce your name Tucker LaRue, and I think that that's absolutely wrong. So I want to know, actually, how do you pronounce your last name?
You got it right. It's Tucker LaRue.
Okay, so we had Ryan Ballou and Tucker LaRue. You guys nowhere near related. Your last names are not spelled anywhere the same, but that kind of worked out, I think, in my favor. It gave me less chance to screw things up.
That's true.
Yeah.
A lot of people screw up my name.
What's the most common, or maybe the top 3 common ways that people mispronounce your name?
Larryu,
Larryu?
Larryu, and then like very, very little do people pronounce it correctly.
Okay. Yes, understood. Well, I mean, looking at it, it is, it looks like a difficult name for sure. I'm not gonna lie. So you live in Northern California in a very, very small town called Portola.
Yep, that's correct.
Man, I even got that one right. That's pretty awesome. So how is that for traveling and training? It seems like a small town. You're kind of away from some of the bigger interstates and things like that, and even some of the bigger highways. So kind of how's the living up there and being able to train and stuff?
How dark you are.
It actually works out really good. I have a lot of riding around here, and for me, I mean, it seems to all play out. It just takes a while for us to travel sometimes. But other than that, I mean, it's all pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I did notice that you kind of went to the ISDE qualifier, and this is like your first year as a pro. I mean, there's been a lot going on that you've really at 15 years old, it seems like there's just been a ton going on in your life, and you've really started to kind of, a lot more first places, a lot more top 5 finishes in a lot of the classes that you've been competing in. So how's all that been going for you?
For me.
Is it a little bit better?
What was that?
Oh, I was just checking in, like how's the year been going for you now that you're 15 years old, you're in the pro class competing and all that?
It's been going pretty good so far. I mean, it has its up and downs like every year does, but I mean, for the most part, it's been going pretty good. I mean, I've been doing as good as I can at 15 years old and seeing how it works out. Yeah.
Well, so at the ISDE qualifier, I looking around trying to find results and stuff like that. It looked like you had a horrible Saturday, but you had a phenomenal Sunday. So how was that weekend for you there at the qualifier?
Well, the Saturday, pretty much, I was running good. I was running first in all my special test sections, and then I was going too fast, and it made a quick little switchback turn. And I was just going to try and jump right through the middle of it, and I ended up jumping off of an edge down into like these really thick ferns, and I had to pretty much like haul my bike back up the hill on my own in a test section. So I gained so much time in there.
Oh, that sucks.
But then the second day, they ran the same course just backwards, and I pretty much knew the course somewhat from what I remembered, and I just tried to stay smooth and not make any mistakes like the day before.
Yeah, and you overalled. Do you overall the day, or you overall the class, or what was the actual placement that you came in on Sunday?
Well, we were gonna sign me up as LOI, but I'm not old enough to run LOI yet.
Right, you've got to be 16 for that, right?
Yeah, and so we just signed me up in the, I think A2. So yeah, like A450, I think is what it was.
Right,
something like that. And I was winning that class and was third overall most of the day. and then that got me down to like 100th place.
Man, that's crazy that you did so well that at 15 years old at that event. So what type of racing do you typically is I guess your specialty, what you do the most? I know you've done a lot of off-road and a lot of motocross. So are you kind of focusing more on off-road, trying to do a little bit of everything? What are you kind of trying to prep for?
For me, I mean, I've grown up riding off-road pretty much my entire life. I got a bike when I was 3 years old, I think. And so, I mean, I raced motocross for like 2 years, and then the parents really didn't like sitting around waiting for motos to come around. So they started running off-road where you just... But for me, I just try to be as well of a rounded rider as I can be. Try to be as good as I can, like a pretty good rider at everything I do.
Yeah. Well, have you had a chance to do much enduro cross? I noticed I saw a picture of you, I think, at a Geico enduro cross. How was that?
I love enduro cross. It's one of my favorite things to do ever. But at the moment, I don't really have a bike to do it with. I have a 2012 450, but it's too much for that, and it stalls way too easy.
Right. Can't even a recluse on a 450 on an enduro cross track will only get you so far.
I'll get a really good start.
Yeah, yes, you will. Well, so it looked like, looking around, kind of Googling your name and looking at some of the results and stuff like that, that you are actually the 2012 AMA Western Hare Scrambles 250A champion.
Yeah, that's correct.
That is a lot of traveling from being in Northern California, I would imagine. So what are some of the drive times like for you to be able to make those races?
It's not really too bad because, like, Elkton, Oregon is only like 6 hours, 7 hours for us. And then Montana's 18, 19 hours pulling our trailer. And then pretty much it's not too bad. And then Arizona's like 14 hours, so I mean, it's not too bad.
Huh. Yeah, that blows my mind that you would drive plus 10 hours to some of these races. Or I guess I should say, since you're 15, that your parents or your mom would drive plus 10 hours for you to go to these races. I know we would do, I think the max we did growing up, I grew up in southern Louisiana, was about 6 hours, and that was to like North Birmingham, like kind of like North Alabama. And that was like, I was driving like an hour or two after the race at like 13 because my dad was like, I'm not going to be able to make it. We have to just start driving. And so I'm like, okay, shit, I don't know what's going on. But it's kind of nuts.
Yeah, I actually drove a couple hours. I drove about 4 hours back from Arizona one time. I was all on site. I was all on like older highways. So my mom just told me to drive. Yeah,
sometimes I'm not gonna lie, parents need rest, and kids sit in the car a lot. They figure it out pretty quick. That's like any driver's ed course. They're like, all right, here are the keys. Get behind the wheel. You know how to do it. You just actually have to practice. Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there you go. Now you know how. So thinking of it really quickly, did you get a chance to pay attention to Washougal this past weekend and all the craziness that went on with Lasergate?
Yes, I did.
Yes. Did you listen to the Pulp MX show last night or today after last night?
No, I didn't.
Oh my gosh. You have to go listen to that. You can get them just like you can get us on iTunes or Stitcher, and you can listen to that show. It is fantastic. They get in Mike Genova, who's the owner of the MCR team, the Moto Concepts Racing, and then Tony Alessi calls in, and Mitch Payton called in before that. Like it was pretty crazy, all the stuff that they were talking about. And at one point, I actually thought that Tony Alessi was doing an okay job of kind of talking about the whole situation, and then he just loses it and goes completely crazy at the very end. And it's like, oh my gosh, like you just don't like him. Like he just makes you not like him. And it's very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate.
Yeah.
So, well, okay.
I don't really have too much.
Go ahead.
I don't really know about them too much. I'm more of a Chad Reed, James Stewart fan myself.
All right. Why?
But,
if you're one of their fans, why?
Why?
Yeah, that's cool. Just whatever.
I don't know. I've just always liked liked Stewart for pretty much since I've started racing.
Right? That's
I
okay.
just like his style.
Yo, he's definitely got a lot of style. It's pretty crazy how many people were tweeting and posting pictures of Josh Grant after at Washougal, because he was just throwing down some mean fat whips. And he's always been known for his style for sure. But it's kind of, I don't know if he just hadn't been doing it or people hadn't been noticing because he hadn't been finishing the top 5. But now that he's been doing a little bit better, people have started to notice and post more pictures and stuff like that. So it's interesting the way that kind of all goes down. So Big Sky, have you raced it? You've raced at this race before?
Yeah, I have. I've raced it the past 2 years.
All right. As a racer, what can you say about this race and what should people expect?
Pretty much, if it doesn't rain, it's pretty dusty and tight single track and a lot of rocks.
A lot of rocks?
A lot of rocks.
So technical.
Yeah, really technical. It's one of the most technical races I've ever done.
Awesome! That actually excites me quite a good bit. That's fun. So do you remember how long the laps are?
It's pretty entertaining to watch.
Oh, I bet. I'm going to be out there and I'm going to be watching and having a good old time rooting you guys on, not riding whatsoever, because racing, that sounds crazy. Crazy.
Well, you got to get out there.
Oh, I'll be out there, but I'll be out there with the chainsaw without a blade, just screaming on everybody, trying to have a good old time. So, do you remember how long the laps are and stuff out there?
I think I was turning at maybe 38 to 40-minute laps.
Oh, so they're long. They're long laps.
It's really long.
Is it that it's so technical that it kind of slows you down, or is it that they're they're like plus 10 miles as well?
I think it's like a 11-mile loop maybe.
Yeah, that's a good mile loop.
It's super technical, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we're hoping to get out there on Thursday and go do a course preview. So I think it could be pretty cool. To be okay, that way I'm gonna just do it at my pace. I haven't been riding in a while because of my surgery. And so if it kicks my butt, it kicks my butt, which I know it will. But it'll be fun. I'm gonna just have been that'll pretty much be the first time on the bike since April. So, and I'm gonna go straight into that.
Jesus. Good luck.
I know. I'm gonna bring a lot of chamois butter. a lot of chamois butter. So you're a pro now at 15. You're going to be at Big Sky. You're going to be competing for a national championship. What do you think about that?
I really don't know what to think of it yet. I mean, this will be my first time at kind of this big of stakes, I guess. And I mean, we'll see how it goes. I'll try as doing best as I can, and we'll see.
Well, and how do you think you're going to fare against some of the East Coast guys? Now, you're a West Coast guy. We just got talking with Ryan Ballou. He's an East Coast guy. Y'all don't ever typically get to meet that often. And this kind of a format, you guys are going to be more head-to-head than you've ever been before.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I gotta show what all these West Coast riders are all about.
Yeah. I like it.
At least try to.
Yeah, a little bit of sass in there. I'm okay with that. That's fine. Absolutely. So, do you think that you have an advantage? Do you think that the East Coast guys have an advantage? Do you think it's completely a level playing field? How do you think that's all going to work out?
I don't know. I mean, everybody has their certain course that they like. I mean, I've never been past. Well, I think the farthest east I've ever gone is probably Montana or Arizona.
Right.
And, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's mostly dust out here, and from what I've seen, it's mostly mud back there.
It's not a bad assumption, or not a bad way to look at it, for sure. It's kind of true. It can get dusty on the East Coast, too, but we've had actually quite a few muddy GNCCs this year. It was it's kind of crazy. We hadn't had a muddy GNCC for a while, and then bam, all of a sudden we had a bunch of them in a row. It was kind of cool to see. I wanted to see, what was it?
There was a lot of them there.
Yeah, no, for sure. So bike wise, are you still riding the TM?
We still have one of them. It's kind of like a practice bike.
What bike are you consistently riding the most in right now?
Right now, I'm riding the TM the most.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah.
And is that what you race on consistently, and that you're planning on racing at Big Sky?
No, I hardly ever race the TM. It's mostly I I did all last year and some of this year here.
Okay.
And then, I got talking with Johnny Campbell, and he had a bike up for sale, and he gave us a super good deal on the bike. So I actually bought a 450 from him.
Okay, and that's the 450 that you were talking about, like you wouldn't want to ride for endurocross.
Yeah.
Well, so is there possibly talks down the line of you being a JCR rider? Is that or anything like that, or is this just kind of like you guys are friends and it was a really good deal on the bike?
I'm not sure really. I mean, I would really hope it ends up going that way, but I mean, we'll see where it goes. I mean, I keep in touch with Johnny as much as I can, and we try and go down there and see him whenever we can. And so just try and keep in touch and let him know what I'm doing and see where it all plays out.
Nice. Well, it worked out really, really well for Colton Hager. He kind of jumped around on a couple different bikes for a while, a couple different like privateer teams.
Yeah.
Was making it work, and now he's on the JCR team, being able to compete in the Endurocross series. So it seems like Johnny Campbell's really trying to expand his kind of Baja team to a little bit more off road. It's indoor Endurocross, but still, you never know. There could be in the next couple of years a spot for you on the team.
Maybe.
Yeah, so you're going to be 16 next year, and you're then going to be able to qualify for being either on a club team for USA at the ISTE or a junior trophy team. So do you know anything about racing in Argentina?
Argentina? I know absolutely nothing about racing in Argentina.
Well, then that is what you need to research, my friend, because 2014, the ISDE is going to be in Argentina. So being with having connections with JCR right now is probably the best thing that you could have. You need to go out there and get as much desert racing in as you can, or desert riding, because, man, Argentina, I can only imagine that's going to be like a whole nother Chile. It's just going to be sandy, fast, open, and just where's the throttle stop at? And hopefully you never have to find it.
We actually have quite a bit we have a desert series around here called Moran, and I do the select rounds of those, but for the most part, it's too fast.
Uh-oh.
When you crash at that high speed, it's going to hurt.
Yeah, well, have you gone out to like the National Hare and Hound and done one of the bomb runs?
No, I haven't yet.
All right, there you go. That's how you can practice for Argentina, is go out there and line up next to Kurt Caselli and just try to keep him in sight on the bomb run.
Yeah, yep. That's true.
All I can say is good luck.
I got to get that big four-stroke to start first.
Yeah, they've got to do a lot of work to be able to get those things to start off the line like that, because you got to get them so warmed up, and then once they get hot and you have to kill them, I don't know. It's got to be tough, like when you're kind of trying to figure out how to make an engine perform better, but then start at the same time.
Yeah, it's the same way. Like that's my biggest dilemma for Big Sky, is whether to run the two-stroke for the start or the stroke.
Well, would a recluse help that at all, or is that just to help you from not? You think that would just be less stalling?
I think it'd just be less stalling. I don't know if it really helps with the whole starting issue with it.
Yeah, we need to get Honda to put an electric start on there. Yeah.
EFI 450X.
Nice. Well, hopefully one day we'll get an electric start on a Honda, and it'll be all the better. Well, dude, we really appreciate you taking the time to come talk to us a little bit. So I would imagine you're excited for Big Sky, and you're looking forward to it. What are you going to do if you win? You're going to go to Disneyland? Nice. All right. Well, unfortunately, it seems like we're losing you a little bit, so I know that we were gonna get ready to call Joe and Jamie and talk to them a little bit about Big Sky, what's going on, getting all the organization there. So, dude, we really appreciate you taking the time, coming on the show, talk to us a little bit about, sharing just a little bit about yourself, what's coming up with Big Sky. Is there a place out there? Do you have websites or social media type stuff where anybody can find you on the internet and get in touch with you?
Probably just Facebook or Instagram. I'm not much of a social media person, so.
All right.
I try and keep those as updated as I can with pictures and stuff like that. So.
All right, cool. Everybody go out there, search for Tucker LaRue. It's LARRIEU.
Yeah, that's correct.
Bam. Man, it's like I have it spelled out in front of me or something. You like that? Nice. All right, dude. Well, we're going to get on the phone with Joe and Jamie from Big Sky. We're going to talk to them about the race and what's going on, but we really appreciate your time, man. We'll talk to you soon. We'll be at the race. We look forward to meeting you in person.
All right, thanks for having me on here.
Yeah, dude. Keep being awesome at 15. Whoop, whoop.
Thank you.
Later.
See you later.
All right, so while we get Joe and Jamie on the line, it possibly could just be Joe. We'll see how this goes if they have met up and figured out how to get together. I, of course, wanted to say thank you to one of our other fine partners and sponsors here at the Corporation of Seat Time, and that is Powersport Graphics. For those of you who don't know Powersport Graphics, you can find them online at ridepg.com, RIDEPG.com. Oh, yeah, I need to tell them. Last name is Miller. Yeah, we're calling his wife. That was hilarious. Are you watching live, Joe?
Hello?
Are you watching?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
I don't know why I can't hear you. Hi.
Okay, well, as we get their sound together, I'm going to keep on saying thank you very much to Powersport Graphics. For those of you who don't know, they are definitely one of the leading industry in being able to get you the dirt bike looking most awesome. Fantastic graphics. Everything's going to last freaking awesome. You can save 40% if you use the ready-to-ship option. Oh, no, now you're watching and listening. I see how it is, Joe. And then, of course, if you go and order it before 11 a.m. Eastern Time, you can get it the same day. So same day shipping. That's pretty much the best stuff that you can have out there. And of course, if you're just like, I want to make whatever order I want to make and buy whatever I want off their website or call them, you can use the discount code SeatTime and save yourself 10%. I think that those are fine ways to save you money and say thank you to one of our sponsors and have the best stuff out there. So, Joe, any better?
We're trying to figure out how to get you. I can hear you a little bit. Can you hear me?
We can hear you just fine.
Okay. I can't hear you. Hi.
Hello.
Almost there? Good?
Yeah, we can hear you really good.
Yeah, I can hear you through a computer, but I wanted to do the headphones because then we felt like we were more NASCAR guys. And,
well, the way he's chomping on those bar nuts, I definitely think he looks like a NASCAR guy.
Well, we just want our official, so we wanted to have headphones on, but when I can't hear you through our headphones, I can just hear you through my computer.
Well, I do have to ask, do you have the show playing in the background as well?
Say that again?
Do you have the show playing on in the background as well?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was like, why do I hear myself? And I was like, that's very strange. But that might have... We were getting some weird feedback, but it's okay. All right. So you guys look fantastic. You look very professional with your headphones, unfortunately wrapped around your neck and not
yes,
and not on your ears. But what kind of bar nuts are you eating there, Jamie?
We're at the Big Sky Brewery. Is that what you just asked us?
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. It's your show, man. Just tell me whatever you want.
Hold on a second. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Now put them on. I think I just figured it out.
Was it called math?
It's called computer slightly literate. I didn't know how to make the speakers work through our headphones because we're at the Lone Peak Brewery in Big Sky right now, and there's a bunch of loud people in here that obviously have no respect for dirt bikers.
Nor people trying to do a live show from the bar. Good Lord.
Can they believe it?
No.
It's ridiculous.
I think the one thing that's funny, though, about the headphones is I remember when we talked earlier in the year, I think it was like early February, we were trying to talk to the waitress, and then we realized that she couldn't hear anything that we were saying because we all had our headphones on. So we were trying to like get her into the show, and then she's just staring there at us like we're idiots. And I was like, we're smart people. We're really smart. You know, it's what we do. It's okay. So you guys are at the Lone Peak Brewery there in Big Sky.
She was staring at a couple idiots.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
It's okay. I'm all right with it. So is this one of the fine establishments that people are going to be able to visit while they come to the Big Sky Cross Country Race, the National Championships of Off-Road?
Yeah, I mean, how can you go to any town that has a brewery and not stop in and try the local brew pub?
I'm 110% behind that. I
Especially
think
Tucker. Tucker might be a little young to pull
Oh
that
yeah,
off.
Tucker.
Yeah.
If
We're gonna
you're
card him.
listening, Tucker.
Yeah. Well, we're not promoting. Pintfuls of Awesome is whatever you want it to be, but if your Pintful of Awesome happens to have an adult content in it, you should at least be an adult. That's my disclaimer. I like to put that out there.
There you go. Very responsible, Brian.
Yes, I am most responsible person you guys are ever going to meet, I promise you. So we wanted to talk to you guys because of the fact that you have to know what's going on. You guys are about a month out from the first annual, what is it now, Kinda Big Sky AMA Off-Road National Championship presented by Climb. Amp us up here. Tell us what's going on. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
You mean to take this?
He's chomping
We
on his
are-
bar nuts.
We are the first ever off-road national championship. There are a lot of amazing off-road series out there across the country. Our concept and the collaboration we have with the AMA is to bring all those guys into one location and see who can do best on that weekend. Sorry, I've got the microphone right there. So you had two great guys, two amazing riders, young up-and-coming guys. Ryan and Tucker were both on your show tonight. Our concept that we came up with the AMA was to get those guys out here. Typically, Ryan's racing the GNCC series, the National Enduro, those types of things. You got Tucker doing Enduro Cross and West Hare Scrambles, and there's constantly bench racing going on across the country of who's the fastest kids, where's the best place for them all to meet up. And we've had this race out here for a few years, and we like the venue. The AMA likes the venue. People enjoy coming out here. They enjoy, even though it's a long drive for a lot of guys, once they really love it here. So this was the spot that the AMA picked to allow all those kids and the pros all the way down to 50cc kids the opportunity to show up and race once a year versus racing with their local guys on the East Coast or on the West Coast.
That's awesome. And as you mentioned, obviously the drive, we were talking to Ryan, he mentioned the drive is about a 34-hour drive, if that's kind of what it comes down to, which sometimes it is. But one of the things that you and I have been talking about a lot is how there's so much more out there. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to drive 34 hours just to go out there and race and then come home. But if they were to, say, add a couple days either before or after that race, it sounds like you guys have like Yellowstone National Park just a little bit south, all the ropes courses and all the stuff going on just at Big Sky itself. I mean, there's a ton to offer all these people that are come out there and play in your backyard, right?
Yeah, I mean, Big Sky is kind of like the outdoor version of Disney World. There are tons of things you can do here. Yellowstone's right down the road. You've got, on your way into town, you could...
Well, I have to say, Steven, tonight does not seem to be the night for Wi-Fi. I just have to say it. I really think that we're just going to have to buy out Verizon and get them to put Fios into this damn house because it's really starting to be aggravating. I definitely don't want to stop doing video, but the more this happens, the more I think we should just be a regular podcast instead of video. And I have to say, I'm excited for this weekend because of the fact that I don't have to work this weekend. I mean, I might. No, what's this weekend? This weekend's boat party. That's what I'm excited about. So not only do I have Big Sky to look forward to at the end of August, but we have boat parties coming up weekend. For those of you who don't know, I'm about to turn 34. Obviously, I'm kind of excited about that. I don't really know how it's going to go over, but kind of keep it a little bit more race related. I think it's one of the fun bits is that we've got some flex bars that we're going to be testing soon, and we have the Promoto Billet adjustable KTM linkage guard. I think both of those are really interesting products, especially in the off-road world, because of the fact that when it comes to the flex bars, there's been a lot of, I guess, like back and forth on do you want flex in your handlebars? And I have yet to ride these guys, so I don't really know how it's going to go over, and that's why we're doing a review on it, is to see when you're kind of digging into these turns and really putting a lot of pressure in there, bringing all that centrifugal force, how much does it flex? Now, obviously, you can change out the dampeners and stuff in there, and how fast do they give out? And those are all the kinds of things I want to learn. And then having ridden a 2013 KTM 300, it now has the linkage and the dog bone and all that kinds of fun stuff. And what comes along with that, the way that it's so vertical, is that the shock shaft, as it hits that dog bone linkage in the swing arm, can get stuck. And after many, many hits, that can really, really wear down on the end of that shock shaft. And so they decided to make a machined guard for that. And then they also made an adjustable one, which is the Pro one. And with that, you can adjust the head angle a little bit too, because of the fact that... Oh, yeah, we're here.
Our connection says excellent, so it's got to be your basement. Are you down in a bunker?
Yo, I believe me, the technical difficulties that always seem to happen on Seat Time, and the fact that everything looks awesome until we go live, I don't even like my situation right now. So.
Well, we're in a brewery, so I guarantee it's not our problem.
Yeah, nope, definitely not the guy running the computers. All right, so Big Sky, lots of fun stuff for everybody to do up there. Are we gonna have a good time or what?
Well, we're in a brewery, so I guarantee it's not our problem. Yeah, nope, definitely not the guy running the
The show is now us watching them watch the show.
Big Sky, lots of fun stuff for everybody to do up there.
Is that it?
Do you want us to have a chugging contest? How fast? I can't hear you, but I can drink beer.
So there's no audio still?
I can hear you, but this is going to be 1 hour of Joe and Jamie drinking beer.
I mean, I'm into it because I still have stuff that I can drink, so I'm okay with it. But so can you hear me a little, or just see what I'm doing?
Yeah. You're in now.
We can hear you great now.
That's
So where are you, Brian? Are you in Atlanta?
No, he's in Austin or
You're
Dallas
in Austin.
or-
You're in Texas.
I'm nowhere cool. I'm nowhere hipster enough to be in Austin. I mean, I may have this swanky stash,
He's in Texas somewhere.
but
Okay.
yeah, no, I'm in
What was
McKinney.
the temperature there today?
100 and hot.
100 and hot.
Yeah.
It was a cool 82 degrees here in Big Sky.
That sounds horrible.
I know, it is horrible.
I'm
This
coming
morning when I got
tomorrow.
up
I'm
and
going to
went
stay
work,
with you.
It was 37 degrees.
What?
It was 37 degrees this morning. So I think when you take off for the first race on Sunday morning, you can expect temperatures to be in the mid 50s. And in August, that sounds pretty good in most places of the country.
Jamie, I'm sold. I mean, I wasn't coming before this conversation, but now I'm there.
I mean, we talk about all the wonderful things there are to do here, but the weather in particular, and I don't know if you have a lot of mosquitoes where you live or some crazy flies, but there aren't a lot at our altitude.
It's like
So it's one thing you got to prepare your bike for, but for your body, it's going to be a nice thing. It's going to be a nice change.
Yeah, I mean, if you're with a guy who hates getting whelps, hanging out, drinking a couple beers on the patio, you won't be that guy when you're in Big Sky.
That's right.
I like it.
So it's more than just a weekend to race, and I know it's a long drive for a lot of people. I've made 2 trips to California, a trip to Oregon, and been to Arizona twice. We're doing the Western Hare Scramble series this year from here, and there's 16-hour drives. And I get it; it's a long ways to go, but like when you show up in Clear Creek in February in California, right south of where is that? Right south of San Francisco. It is beautiful, and like just being there for the weekend is awesome in February, coming from the north. So I think it's that same kind of experience for anybody coming from around the country where it's hot. This is a great place to be this time of year. There's no better place in my mind, and that's why I live here, and that's why Joe lives here. It's because it is awesome in the summer.
Yeah.
We've fallen in love with this place, so it'll be fun.
Man, you guys are just selling it, man. Unfortunately, my wife is a Texan, so I mean, I might just wind up living with y'all and then getting divorced really quickly. I don't know. It'd be horrible.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Probably
Yeah.
not at all.
You just took a great conversation and just turned it upside down.
I don't know. I mean, maybe.
You guys could just all come out as a family.
That's true. But see, that's
You
the
don't-
thing. That's what we wanted to do, and we wanted to try to figure out a way to do that for sure. But it just kind of like all kinds of crazy stuff, figuring things out. But luckily enough, everything came together for a way that I could figure out a way to get out there. We're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to do a lot of media stuff. I think it's going to be neat what we have going on. So we're going to try to do Thursday. We're going to try to do a couple course previews, try to get out there and ride the course and make sure that everybody can see parts of the course. We don't want to show everything to everybody. It's still off-road. We don't want people memorizing the course or nothing. Friday, go out and do a bunch of...
Oh, yeah, and Thursday, I'm not even sure if we will have permission to be on the mountain yet, so...
Oh, it's happening.
Oh, okay.
He's already talked with Unruh.
Yeah.
Perfect.
No.
All right.
I talked to Joe, and Joe talked to other people and told me that I don't know what I'm talking about, but at the same time, I could keep acting like I do.
That's perfect.
Yeah. It's like...
We'll send you out for a trail ride someplace.
True professional.
That's good.
And then I think Friday's going to be fun, too, because we'll get to talk to a lot of riders. Maybe go do some rope courses, go up some... What do they call that? Elevator to the top of the world or whatever?
The tram.
Oh, that...
Or you can just call it the elevator.
I think my name was a lot better.
I don't know why they didn't think of that.
Stairway to Heaven. That's what they should have called it.
They were like, we don't want to have lawsuits. That's why.
Exactly.
Was she squeezing in behind you there, Joe?
Yeah, we've got some people that you guys can come in if you want to get on the show. No, they just wanted to sneak a peek.
That's it.
They're just
Okay.
just remember,
You just-
they don't have headphones. We've been through this once.
Yep, no idea, but you've got an intriguing stash
Do you guys have a decent view of it?
of your stash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's right over the microphone. It looks good.
It's right over the top lip of your mouth, just like it should be.
So, Brian, have you been to Montana before?
I have been to Montana before when I was much younger. We went and visited, obviously it's in Wyoming, but we went and visited Yellowstone National Park for about a week when I was probably in my late teens. So we kind of did a little jaunt through Montana just because my dad grew up there for a little bit. But other than that, we just drove through it. We went to Idaho last year. That's about it. It's unfortunate, I know. We have friends that live in Missoula, and they're actually going to be coming in and trying to hang out with just kind of taking the scenes because of the fact that we don't ever get to really see each other that much anymore being in Montana and Texas. So they're going to come to Big Sky and hang out with us, watch some of the dirt bike racing, and just partake in the awesomeness that's going to be going on. I think it's going to be fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you were just talking about flex bars a little bit. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So
I'll tell you what. Just a little plug for flex bars.
let's hear it. We haven't reviewed them yet, but let's do it.
You haven't?
No, not
I've been
yet.
riding them. I've been riding them for the last probably year and a half, and I mean it's changed my riding experience. And I race in the 30A class, and I'm normally at the back of the pack. But I like to ride dirt bikes, and it's the difference between being able to ride all day and ride 45 minutes without wanting to throw my dirt bike off the side of the hill. And I know that some of that is due to suspension setup and a lot of different things that you can do with your bike. But when you're on the nasty downhills that we have up here that are super fun to ride, it sure is nice to have a little bit of flex in your bars to go along with your suspension setup just to make your day a little bit more tolerable.
Well,
I
that's
won't
good
ride
to
with
hear.
anything else.
So both of you guys ride with flex bars.
Yeah, I
Okay.
wouldn't do it any other way.
I
All
wouldn't
right.
ride that weekend if I didn't have a pair of flex bars on.
Man, I guess I'm gonna have to tell Brian Elliott the dirt bike he's bringing from me needs to have flex bars then, huh?
You should.
Otherwise, why would you even ride?
Why would you ride?
It's because I'll be in Montana in Big Sky.
Jason Parsons, you better be listening to this.
Yeah, all boxes are gonna show up at everybody's house. It's like-
Don't you wish it was that easy? Product would start falling from the sky.
I know that would be quite nice. No, what you did here was the fact that we were obviously, since we were having a little bit of connections issue, I was just mentioning the fact that we will be reviewing a few products, and one of those is a pair of flex bars. I've been talking to Jason Parsons and a couple other guys over there, and trying to at Fast Company and trying to really, get a better idea of what's going on with the bars, why they've been making them, and if they could tell me a little bit about the evolution of them, because I really want to test them in a fair light. Now, granted, we do not have the big downhills here in Texas. Obviously, that you guys do in Montana because you actually have mountains, and unfortunately, here we have hills that might go 100 feet. But I'm really looking forward to getting out there, not just doing some video work and stuff, but really kind of riding on the bars and seeing what they can do. Now, if Brian Elliott's 450 or whatever, I'm gonna wind up riding, and Big Sky has him, then obviously I'll be giving him much more of a test than I thought I would be, but I think it's going to be a really cool experience to be able to learn more about the product and really use it and really know how it can affect my riding and stuff like that.
It looked like in the photos from the National Enduro in Texas that you had some elevation changes for that race.
Oh, the one in Texas was actually pretty good. We did have some pretty good elevation out there at Concho. It's quick, it's fast. It's fat and it's shaly kind of rock. So it's an interesting. It's something in Texas we don't have much of, and that's definitely like a neat little niche area. Being able to go out there and ride, so it's a lot of fun. Yeah, so if you guys don't have any national enduros that are out west this year, do you?
No, we haven't. Wyoming was, for the past couple of years, they've been out in Wyoming, and I forget what year it was when we had one in Montana.
Joe and I both jacked ourselves up that day.
I think I made it like a third of a lap.
Ooh, national enduro, let's go try that. What's this starting and stopping stuff? Who does what? Huh? We both met at the camper halfway through. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
I broke a couple ribs.
Yeah, our wives are coming. Pretend like you're not hurt. Let me get my bike loaded up. Okay.
Jamie hit a washout at like 100 miles per hour and just completely ragdolled in front of his wife.
Only place all day she was going to see me. I hit this G out full on wide open, tried to bunny hop over the top of it. Back wheel catches the lip and just sends me sailing in cartwheels through the air. The only place she was going to see me all day long.
Oh my God! And you're like, get up. Like everything hurts, but you're still like, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay.
I'm good.
And
I can't lift my arms above my head, but I'm good.
Just a quick trip by urgent care, and we're fine. We'll be totally fine.
I actually, I'll have to find it and send it to you, Joe. But if people were to Google it, they could definitely find it. There's a picture of me coming out of the hospital after one of the enduros in Arkansas. It was before it was a national, and I got like super crazy overheated, and so like they had to pump me full of fluids and stuff. Holy shit! I look like Jack Nicholson in like one the red rum.
Your comb was coming out.
Yeah, The Shining. Oh my gosh, dude! I'm
Tommy's back.
They didn't even put my shirt on when they took me out of the hospital. So I'm like in the gown still, like all like oh, like it's like the best picture ever.
We've never had those experiences ever.
Yeah,
actually.
Nope. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh no.
So okay, so I know we talked about this a little bit in February when we discussed it. Why do you guys get involved with race promoting?
We weren't smart enough to think it through before we got involved in race promoting, to be honest.
So what you're saying is if you have the chance to think about it, don't do it?
No.
So what you're saying is if you have the chance to think about it, don't do it?
We have a weird delay.
We got more awesome audio.
There we go.
Is that you guys or us?
I want to say it's you. No.
Need something.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I see her. She's cute. Nope. Hi.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. That was totally your fault.
You know what I'm afraid, though, is that's actually like a 16-year-old girl that I just said was cute, and that kind of creeps me out.
She's probably 12.
I don't even know she's that old.
I'm going to blame the blinding light. Damn it, it's the mustache. It brings out the weird in everybody, man.
It does, including Brian.
Including and Brian from Atlanta as well. That guy, he's all over the place.
Both you guys.
Yeah.
There's two different kinds of South.
It is. So don't race promote if you ever have a chance. Turn it down.
You know what? Somebody has to.
Yeah.
Somebody absolutely has to. And the only reason we got into this is we were watching a GNCC on TV 6 years ago, and it was at Snowshoe. We were looking at the place, and it's all rutted out, beat to shit, it looks nasty. It's like, man, I think we could do something like this in Big Sky. So that's kind of what started the conversation. Joe raced growing up. I had no business. I didn't even know how to ride a dirt bike, so we just started talking about how we could maybe try to figure something out here locally. And it was after somebody else approached the resort that they decided that maybe it'd be a good idea to work with the two of us. So we started laying out a race course, and that's all it was. We didn't have a clue what we were doing. Still don't have a clue what we're doing.
Perfect.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you know you don't know anything, it's a good head start, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's all about confidence. It's kind of like I have no idea what I'm doing with this show, but I have notes, and I just have the confidence that I'm just going to try to keep talking.
And if I assume if we go out and have arrows and stuff and ribbon pointing people which direction to go, and guys standing in intersections where you can't cut the course, and we drop a flag, that everybody's just going to kind of follow along.
In all honesty, though, you know, the big thing about promoting is following the basics and being and paying attention to the details. I mean, if a race is 1 minute behind, Jamie's going nuts. It drives him nuts. And a quality race is just paying attention to the small things. And we just so happen to have we've promoted some races outside of Big Sky, but we just so happen to have a venue that is phenomenal. So it's kind of taken on a life of its own. We started off not really knowing what was going on with promoting, and people started showing up from a long ways away, and we started to take it more and more serious, and the race has just continued to grow and grow and grow. The resort likes it. The people that come here continue to come back regardless of how far they have to drive. And we kind of, you know, as products in any business, if you have the right product, it will work out. Especially if you put the right effort into it. And we may have lucked into the location in the venue, but we paid attention to the details over the last few years, and I think it's been fun to watch it grow into what it's becoming. That's for sure.
I agree. I'm super excited to get up there and kind of see what you guys have created in person. Jamie, Joe did tell me that there was a point yesterday where you were out just walking around randomly on the mountain, kind of like not really knowing what you were going to do or anything like that. Do you feel a little bit better today, or do you still just what?
Did you get up? He was.
No, it's more of it's the logistical. I love logistics. I manage a business. We've got 6 different locations, and part of what I really like doing is putting it all together and making sure that the contingency planning, and I've got people where I need in order for it to be a safe environment for whatever we're doing. And the race is no different. So about a month before, this year's a little bit different than other years, just because I know the mountain a little bit better.
Yeah.
But my concern right now is just where do I need people? Where do I need a spotter? What needs to be fixed? So it's just all these little things. It's a million little things, and somehow I'm a little bit more at peace when I'm wandering around in the woods than sitting at my desk working during the day. And my boss doesn't listen to this, so it's all right.
No. I should also point out that Jamie watches all the YouTube videos that go on, and he saw the guy in the C class last year that cut the course, and those things will keep Jamie up at night. So if you're gonna cheat,
got a special surprise waiting for him.
If you're gonna cheat, you need to get to know Jamie a little bit before you decide to cut the course, because he spends all winter, powder a day doesn't matter. He spends all winter festering, thinking about the C-class guy who cut the course and then had the guts to put it on YouTube.
Dude, that shit drives me crazy. I will not miss a powder day for it. But I'll tell you what, it drives me insane. You put together a race course, right? And you got a guy who blows by a volunteer standing someplace telling you to go this way, and just rides right by him, jumps on the race course, passes 3 dudes. Yeah.
And doesn't edit it out of his video. What kind of smart person is that? He's not.
He's not.
No. Well, I want to know, I was kind of reading up on some of the AA kind of black diamond trails, and it sounds like this is kind of precarious, very technical, single tracky kind of stuff that you guys have coming up for these pros and the A-riders. So I want to know, how technical is this crap? I haven't ridden it. I've seen videos and stuff like that. It looks gnarly as shit, but I mean, from a 30A racer perspective to another 30A racer perspective. What's up, Jamie?
So the point is, we put in, there's a little loop that's just for the A guys, and it's It's not for wusses. I mean, it's not supposed to be fast. It's not supposed to be fun race course. I mean, it is fun. You're a sick and twisted human being, like a lot of these people are.
Yeah, you're on a dirt bike. You're awesome.
Yeah, you need to have a little bit of a challenge. It needs to be something fun about it, or something that makes it special. So, and actually, I mean, I can't take all the credit for this. When Joe and I are out wandering around, we're seriously looking at, dude, you really think you can ride your dirt bike up that? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can make it.
One lap.
Yeah,
one time. What do you think it's going to look like after 6 laps? Who cares? We're not doing it.
Yeah. It looks good now. What up?
Well, you know, other promoters do this kind of shit to us when we're racing at their place, so why can't we do it to them when they come here?
It's very
You
true.
have to add something that's memorable, and we most definitely added some memorable places for the A guys, and we've heard from some guys that race across the world in hard enduros that have said that it's very grueling, very difficult, and we could take that as a compliment.
Yes, I completely agree. We had Last Man Standing, one of the Red Bull events that unfortunately has gone the way of the wind, and just logistics, all the other kind of crap that goes along with that was done over in Munster, and that's about an hour and a half from my place, so I've been able to ride a lot of that trail. And what you're saying about it being grueling and memorable and stuff, and we're sick and twisted, it's the weirdest shit that you'll go out on a random day and find those arrows and follow them, and you keep falling. But you keep trying and you keep going, and you're like pushing your bike up to this stuff that you shouldn't be doing, but for some reason that's the way the arrows point, and you're gonna keep going to try that stuff. So it is like a weird little mental game that we play with ourselves. The fact that we'll go find this kind of stuff and just do it. We may not be doing it correctly, but we're just gonna keep trying and stuff. So I'm glad that you guys are doing that. I like some of the way that things have evolved. I think like in J-Day, I think it's a totally different form of racing in off-road, and it's going to bring so many different types of people into our side of the sport in the sense that it's not completely closed-course motocross track. So, and I think it's the same thing. We're going to get the guys that kind of think like we do, that sick, twisted kind of fun. I think that the rocks up there are going to be... Is it better than Colorado? I think that's the biggest question.
I think so.
Wow.
I'm biased, but that's
I've
a
never
terrible
been to
question.
Colorado.
I just was in Colorado a couple weeks ago, and I have to say that we have some pretty darn good trails compared to Colorado. But I'll say, when we first started this thing, Jamie and I would be out on the race courses during the A-loop, and the guys would come by and use every 4-letter word to tell us how to go to hell during the race, and we thought they're going to kill us when they get down to the
tarred and feathered.
And they come back in after the race is over, and it's nothing but compliments. Man, that was the best thing we've ever done. Thank you so much for putting us through that challenge. And I'm speaking strictly of the A loop. I mean, we don't do that to every class. The C guys, the kids, the B guys, we're not attempting to put everybody through that kind of a mental and physical challenge. But the A guys come back in and they say, holy cow, I don't know how I made it to the end, but this was the most amazing accomplishment. And we have DNFs, but we're not like a last man standing where only 2 people show up at the end.
Yeah.
And people race to the end. I mean, it is a race, it's a hair scramble, but we work them, and they appreciate it at the end. They may hate us in the middle of it, but when they sit down at the end and have a drink of water or beer or whatever it is, they love it, and they come back for more every year.
And I'd like to add though too, and we have all these different loops. So I think what makes this kind of special and what's different than a lot of other races that, Saturday we've got, over the course of the weekend we've got 5 different race courses that we use.
Yeah.
They're all supposed to be appropriate for each class. So it should feel like a national for a kid riding the super mini class. He's going to have some technical things to go through. It's not going to be a cakewalk race course for that 13-year-old in the super mini class. It should be something memorable. And the same thing for a B rider. Somebody coming up and riding the 250B class, it's going to be tough. It's going to be gut check time after 2 hours of riding these rocks because there's no place to rest. It's up, it's down. The mountain is moving underneath of you, and there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of traffic, and there's not a lot of places. Won't be a lot of places to pass. So, it's really cool. I think for the A riders, like what we do with that extra little portion for them. But I think the other thing, like what I take a lot of pride in, is what we do to make sure that there's race courses for everybody who's coming, so that it's appropriate for all of the classes, and it's not just a hard enduro for the best riders in the world. Because I also want this to be a hard race for the C class on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Appropriate to their ability.
Yeah, absolutely. And that makes complete sense. And the fact that you guys have that much trail and that much terrain that you can work with to make that many courses. I know that when we, work some of our local cross-country races, we struggle with that a lot. We have our blue lines, which is more the expert stuff, and then our alternates and everything. But we can only be like, okay, well, there's like this little split, and then they come back together. But, being that you guys can have all these different courses, that's fantastic,
Yeah.
And in a lot of other
part
places.
of it is that we're starting the races at different times. So,
Right.
We have the B race that is separate from the A race altogether. We keep the guys off the mountain at the same time. We could be running them at the same time and having a split during the race course, but it's a 10-mile race course. We want to make sure that the A riders have A traffic to deal with and the B riders have B traffic to deal with.
Yeah.
So just trying to keep it appropriate, class appropriate. They keep that integrity across the entire weekend.
Yeah, and I think
It's
now
more
that it's
work
a
for
national
us.
championship, that's even more important because, you don't want an A guy coming back and saying, I lost because of some C rider in front of me.
Absolutely.
And in y'all's format, obviously, all A guys know that if somebody's coming up behind them hooting and hollering, most likely it's not going to be the guy that's trying to pass him just to make up a spot or,
Yep.
So I think that's actually a really cool way to approach it. So.
It's been super fun to have that kind of a format. It's exhausting, and our volunteers want to kill us at the end of the weekend, but I think it's the only way to do it.
Yeah, it's the only way to do it.
I dig it. Well, cool, man. I want to know, both of you guys, what you're probably most excited for the national championships. Your most exciting thought about what is going to be coming up this year.
You want to start? Go ahead. It's always fun to see the traffic come into town, and we'll have a few semis from the pro guys coming in, and it's neat to see that set up. But for me, and the whole point of the amateur national championship, what's the most exciting for me is seeing the storylines that come out of some of the lesser-known classes, the 40B class, having a guy from the East Coast racing a guy from the West Coast. They've never raced each other before, or the super mini class, and having a kid from Minnesota and a kid from New York and a kid from California and some fast kids from Montana all mixed in together, Colorado. That's what I'm the most excited about, are those stories that may not make the headlines, and this race will have a pro class that will have plenty of headlines. But what's the most exciting for me is those behind the scenes stories, or the smaller, the more subtle things that are going to happen in the amateur classes, and having that opportunity for kids that when you
Every year, we could call it a national championship. It could be a Western Hare Scramble. But what I love the most, and just because my experience from riding, is watching the families come, and whether it's mom racing, dad racing, kids racing, seeing them all come together and bench racing when they're done, and just having it be a family experience and come out here and have a family vacation in a place that they truly all want to come and have a good time. That's the most rewarding part for me, and showing off Montana to people who have never been here before.
Yes. Well, I dig it, and I'm certainly looking forward to being able to partake in some of the Montana awesomeness and all the other fun stuff that's going on. I do have to say that it's been quite our up and downs for this show, and it's been unfortunate. But we do the best we can, and we really apologize for it. Hopefully you guys have gotten tons of great information about this stuff. We definitely can't thank Joe and Jamie enough as we try to get them back on just to make sure that we got all the media type stuff out of the way. But for those of you guys who don't know, this has been Seat Time. Typically we try to keep the show to about an hour, but when we've got so much fun stuff to talk about, obviously we have to just keep talking to the good people because of the fact that they're the ones that are really making this sport come alive, and the fact that they're really trying to change the sport and really put out something new for the amateurs out there. It's not just about the professionals. It's about a lot of the guys that really help keep the sport alive, and that's just all the racers and all the riders and all the families out there. So hopefully you guys are going to be able to make it to Big Sky. If not, at least you'll be able to check it out. BigSkyXC.com is the website. So please do that. Joe and Jamie are great guys. Really appreciate their time. So what you've been watching tonight is Seat Time. So seattime.co is the website where you can find us online. If you could, we archive all the shows there that you can see there on the website. You can listen, you can watch, you can check out all the sponsors, all that kinds of fun stuff. It's a great time there. Of course, we're on Facebook, so facebook.com/seattime. We're on Twitter. It's twitter.com/seattime_co. All the fun stuff. You can find us on Stitcher, on iTunes, on YouTube, at the website. All you have to do is search for Seat Time on any of those platforms, and you can totally get a hold of us. And after that, remember, seattime.bigcartel.com is where you can go find some Seat Time swag. Please remember, always enjoy a pint full of awesome. We really appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you next Tuesday. We'll talk some more about Big Sky. Later, guys.